side here. Stick on our education. It's called the Form C. But the inspector can say inspect the passenger side. He can also show you a diagram of what area to inspect. But I'm going to show you the whole inspection of this form. So it technically begins from here. Goes top to bottom, under, then the wheel, continues around the back, ends in the corner, and again on this form you also have the drive shaft and the rear differential. It's very important, the drive shaft and rear differential, because if that cracks or breaks apart, the bus can split apart. So, alright, so let's start from here. Clearance light, clean, not cracked or broken in any way, no missing or loose parts. Copper in the front, amber. With the window, clean, not cracked or broken. Let's go to the door frame. No missing or loose parts around here. This area is clean. The rubber is present and not missing. Right here. Door opens and closes properly from the outside. So moving along. General frame has proper signage. Windows clean, not cracked or broken in any way. Let's go to your emergency exit over here. Again, the yellow reflective tape is present around the window, and the emergency exit, the window is clean, not cracked or broken in any way. This is the turn signal here. That's your right turn signal. These are amber in color. Clean, not cracked or broken, no missing or loose parts. So on the undercarriage over here, go down. Again, you do not have to crawl under the bus. On this side, you have this thing here, and then it's connected to a pipe. Okay, well, right here. You have your exhaust pipe that's connected to your muffler. Under here you got a pipe, you really can't see it. That's your exhaust pipe. Okay. So your exhaust pipe, you want to say not missing, no missing or loose parts, not leaking on the bottom. Clamps are secure and not broken in any way. Now, since we're doing the under, go to the rear tire. Again, inspection of the tire includes 4 things. Includes your suspension, the parts to your frame, brake, and tire itself. Whatever you inspect on this tire on the rear is the same as the other one. It's not like the front. This is your frame, by the way. So, well, let's do the suspension first. So we're going to go to your shock absorbers. Again, that's the slanted thing here. Securely mounted to the frame of the bus. On the top, connected by a U-bolt. And the bottom, securely mounted to the rear axle. And the U-bolt is present, not missing there. That's the rear axle over here. Okay. By the way, we should call out our drive shaft. Let's do that first. The drive shaft, securely mounted to the engine in the front. No missing or loose parts. These are the clamps. The clamps are present. Not cracked or broken in any way. Okay, so, and then the drive shaft connects to the differential. That's the bulb thing. The differential has gears in it, which if the driver goes forward, the gears go forward. If he goes in reverse, it goes in reverse. Okay, and the drive shaft is not leaking. The drive shaft is connected to the rear differential. The rear differential, not cracked, bent, or broken, no missing or loose parts. Okay, so let's go back to the suspension system. So the second part of your suspension system is leaf springs. We've got a bunch of them here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down. So the leaf springs are connected to the frame of the bus. On the rear, it's actually called a shackle right here. That's this big thing. It's like a big big giant U-bolt right here. You want to say it's not missing, cracked, bent, or broken in any way. Okay, and then same thing, you have the clamps that hold them up here. No missing or loose parts. And that's your suspension system. You also have a brake line here for your brakes, okay? Sometimes you can see the brake line, sometimes you can't. Brake line, again, goes into the back of the caliper here. Again, this bus has 2 tires in the rear because of its weight. Some of the 16 passengers have 1 tire, which you actually luck out on because you only have to explain 1 tire. And don't forget, on each tire, this, you got to do your frame too. That's this part here. You want to say it's not cracked, bent, or broken, or missing or loose parts. Well, let's go back to the tires. Let's go back to the brakes, okay? So the brakes come into the back of the first tire here. So you'll be able to see the caliper on that tire right here in this window, okay? You have hydraulic brakes. It's not called a chamber. It's called a caliper. So you want to tell the inspector the caliper is in good condition, not leaking anyway. Some people actually call this part a shoe, but I think if you say caliper, you'll be fine. In between the caliper and the rotor is a brake pad. The brake pad should have more than 1/4 inch thickness. I mean, there should be no leaking or grease in between there and the rotor. The rotor is the shiny thing here. The rotor cannot be cracked, bent, or broken in any way. Some buses, bigger buses particularly, have a drum. Make sure you call that part out proper, but this bus has a rotor. Okay, so in the brakes, again, these are dual tires, so the dual tires cannot be mismatched. In other words, if it's radial tires, each tire's got to be radial, not radial and the other one steel. Okay. In between the tires, you must have enough space, about at least 2 inches. Let's go to the parts of the tire. Okay, so we have this thing right here. It's a replacement cap for the oil hub seal, which is located behind it. The oil hub seal, hub axle seal, some people say, not be leaking in any way. The cap is on tight. You should have no missing lug nuts, and they cannot be loose in any way. The cap cannot be cracked.
Okay, mami, gracias.
Okay, so this thing here is called a rim. Again, not cracked, bent, or broken in any way. You should have two tires. You actually have 2 rims there, but you really can't see the other part. Okay, so let's go to the tire walls itself. No bubbles, no slits, and air leaking in any way. Let's go to the stove, back to stove. The front valve here, that's the air stem valve. The cap has to be on tight, so no air is leaking. You should know the PSI of your tire. You can get that when you test the air with an air gauge. Okay, and on these rear tires of this bus, it should be 80. If you don't know the PSI of your tires, you should have it on the inside of your bus, either on the inside of the driver door, or it should be up on the overhead somewhere. So know what it is before you go for your test. We're sitting right underneath an airport right here. I mean, next to an airport. Planes are landing. Okay, so, all right, so we did that. Okay, so let's go to the tread depth. Okay, tread depth. You should have, on the rear tire, should be at least 232-inch tread depth. Okay, and the rear tires may be recapped and regrooved 1 time only. You did the tread depth. Okay. Buses generally have a mud flap here, although most buses lose them because of all the driving they do. But the mud flap protects the tire from getting mud on it, so you don't slide around. Should be 6 inches from the ground and properly mounted to the frame of the bus. Travel around to the rear of the bus. You have a reflector here, proper in color, red, rear. Then you have the rear clearance light, proper in color, red in the rear, no missing or loose parts, and is clean. It's not broken. We're going to continue along the side of this form and then start at the top. This bus has a strobe light. You want to say it's not broken in any way, clean, not cracked. These are your clearance or marking lights. They're red in the rear, clean, not cracked or broken, no missing or loose parts. This bus has a camera. Very good these days. The camera securely mounted to the frame of the bus. The camera helps catch those drivers who like to go through the stop sign. School bus, proper signage. The sign is not ripped or torn. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Clean, not cracked, bent, or broken in any way. Okay. Then you have the student lights, red on the outside, amber on the inside. Clean, not cracked or broken. No missing or loose parts. Then you have the emergency door. Proper signage here. Emergency door is surrounded by yellow reflective tape. And the yellow reflective tape is present. It's not worn or torn. So emergency door, the window, clean, not cracked or broken. Let's go to the handle. Open the door. Closes, open and closes properly. Go to your lighting. The outside lights. These are your turn signals and four-ways. Clean, not cracked or broken, no missing or loose parts, and it's red. And these here are your backing lights. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clean, not cracked or broken. When you step on not your backing lights, your brake lights. I'm sorry, brake lights. When you step on the brake, these will light up. The white ones are your backing lights. Clean, not cracked or broken. They come on when you back the bus. No missing or loose parts here. Let's go to your reflectors. Red in the rear. Clean, not cracked or broken. No missing or loose parts. This is your license plate. Visible, properly mounted to the frame of the bus. No missing or loose parts. Through the general frame. All the nuts and bolts are present. No missing or loose parts. Bumper securely mounted to the frame of the bus. Not bent in any way. Go down. Your tailpipe. Well, your tailpipe here is not cracked, bent, or broken. Missing or loose parts, not leaking. Attaches in the back to your nozzle roll. The exhaust pipe attaches up there in the front. Some people call it a muffler. Tailpipe, either or. There's no leaking. Okay, so then you are done with the form, but they will ask you the difference between this side and that side. This side has your stop sign, your passenger door, and your exhaust pipe. I'm sorry, this side has your
Door?
passenger door and your exhaust pipe. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
I do this all the time, but it's been a long day. Christmas is coming for us. Then on this side, you have your stop sign, your driver door, and your